Buenas tardes, mi gente, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a Ellas Son Tu Voz, su servidora Jessica Solís. Hoy tenemos un especial evento que vamos aquí a decirlo con Angels of Love. Ella es Daniela Zúñiga y
Hi.
Liana Gutiérrez.
Hi. Hi. Hello.
Vamos a platicar, Daniela, de todas las ayudas y de todo lo que se hace en Angels of Love, porque hay muchas cosas que hacen ahí. Entonces, quiero que toda la gente sepa las ayudas que dan, los servicios, todos los eventos que hacen, porque son bien importantes, y más ahora que viene el verano, sé que tienen uno de niños. Entonces, vamos a irnos por partes. Y tú dime, tienes el control de todo. Dime cómo empezamos.
Well, my name is Daniela Zuniga, and I'm the development director for Angels of Love. And we are a nonprofit organization that helps women and families that go through domestic violence. We are a very, very busy organization, and we are busy every single day helping families get to the next step. Joined with me today is Miss Liana Gutierrez. She's our board member for Angels of Love and a social worker by trade. And so we're here to just tell you about Angels of Love. We have a lot of empowerment programs that women who come off the street who need help.
Yes.
And that's what we do is we really try to bridge the gap between them getting out of their relationship and getting them to, a safe and free environment. We have empowerment classes. We have counseling that we do have sessions at the office every day. Monday through Friday, we have assistance with filing police reports. So for the women who need help or just need that extra hand to go to the police station and file the reports against their perpetrator, we're there to help them. We also attend court with them as well on some occasions where they've asked us to, hey, can you come and come to court with me because I'm scared or I don't know what could happen, but I just need that extra help, helping hand. We do provide them with information about crime victims compensation. And so a lot of times when women come off the streets and they're battered, let's say they get beat, they're injured, they need services. And the good thing about Angels of Love is that we will help you file the necessary paperwork to get you to those services, whether it is a doctor's office, an MRI service. We have developed a program that's powered by Angels of Love. It's called Keep Me Safe.
Yes.
And so we put this digital resource guide together because women just did not know what to do and where to go.
Yeah.
And so we will be passing them out at the police stations, at probably anywhere that we can get this information out to the public, because it's important that women feel empowered, feel like they know where they can go, feel they can come and talk to people, that we are available for them. If anyone needs our services, I will be happy to provide our number at the end.
Yes.
and just let them know where to come. But I mean, we do a lot of services, and Liana, I'll let you jump in anytime now.
So another portion that we really work with is when they're already out of that type of relationship.
Yes.
How do we go about healing, right? How do we go about healing? How do we go about working on ourselves? So we do offer free counseling as well at Angels of Love. And that is free, completely free to our, our members or like anybody who is looking for that. And we also have our healing circle, which is our support group, right?
Yes.
So sometimes we feel alone, like we're the only one going through this. We're the only one. Yeah,
Yes,
for
it's
sure.
very sad.
And so when we come to this healing circle or a círculo de sanación, ¿verdad?
Sanación.
So we have English and Spanish programming. So these free support groups, really help you relate to other women. Like, hey, she got out of a really bad relationship. Hey, she's helping support her family, her kids,
Yes.
she's healing, she's going forward. And I really think that that's also a huge part of like the healing portion that we help our, victims and survivors walk through, because we do have that support in-house and all our services are completely free.
Yes.
That's what I wanted all the people to know, because there's people that keep on getting hurt in different areas in different ways, and they don't know where to go. They don't even know where to
begin.
Right.
Right.
Where to start, who to call,
Mhm.
you know?
Angels
And they
of
think
Love.
because they call a friend that's a good therapy. No, you need to go to a safe place
Yes.
Right.
where you can get the right therapy and where you can get like the real help.
Yes.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So Angel of Love provides that help for women, even men.
Even men. Yes.
Even
Yeah.
men get
I wanted to
abused.
say that because
Yes.
men are abused too. And that's
Yes.
what I wanted to mention. It's not for only women, it's
Mhm.
also for men.
Yes.
And of course, we have a lot of men that are abused.
Right.
You know, it's
Yes.
verbal, even physical and psychological.
Right.
Mhm.
Mental, financial. There's so many different types of
Yes.
abuse. But we help everyone that needs help. So we don't turn anyone away. If you need shelter, we'll help you find shelter. And the good thing about Angels of Love, and it's coming up, is very soon in 2026, Angels of Love will have their own shelter. So we
Nice.
will, thank God, yes, it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
We will be able to provide shelter for families, if they leave as a unit, mother and children or
Mhm.
father and children, and even sometimes animals, they don't want to leave
Yeah.
home without it. But, a lot of the questions is like, why do we stay?
Mhm.
And we'll talk more about that in the book, but we want the women and our families and our
Children.
victims and our children to
Yeah.
know like there's a way out. And
Yes.
Angels of Love is to help you get to that point where you're like, I've had enough.
Mhm.
And so we're here to provide services. Not only do we provide services for women, we also provide services for children.
For adults.
Yes.
I was going to ask you what you guys provide for adults?
For adults,
Yes.
more of the empowerment. We do a lot of the counseling. We have the healing circles. We do have a divorce care class that just ended. We'll have a divorce care class that we can tap into through a chaplain, because I'm a chaplain at Angels of Love.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so our men chaplain are going to host a divorce care class just for men. So
Nice.
they'd like more information about that. We'll have that on our website as well. And we'll have divorce care for kids. So one of our summer, I would say one of our summer projects
Okay.
is divorce care for kids. That'll be in the month of June, and we will have them on Mondays and Wednesdays from 3 to 4:30. We will have a class just for kids. So kids that go through divorce, I really feel it in my heart that we need to help them heal
Yes.
and know that it's not their fault. So while their kids are coming to, divorce care for kids, we will have a separate class for the moms. If they want to come and receive healing as well, or it's kind of like how would we say it? It's
Like
kind of like a session for them,
a session, like a
right?
therapy for
A therapy,
them?
a therapy session. So what the kids are learning in divorce care,
Yeah.
the parent, we're going to carry that over into a therapy class for the parents,
Okay.
so that they'll know how to talk to their kids. They'll know the
How to
questions
treat
of how to
them
treat
and not to be
them.
all stressed out talking like,
Right.
maybe angry or in a emotional way.
Right.
Correct.
That it's not right. for
Right,
them.
right. So
Okay.
in a healthy environment and, positive environment, we invite, them to sign up. They can call Angels of Love at 972-0685 and sign up your kids for divorce care for kids. We also have summer camps as well for our youth. We have youth empowerment classes. And throughout the year and this summer, we'll be visiting 15 locations in the Rio Grande Valley, pretty much every city in the valley. To provide empowerment classes. We have our Girl Power program, our Be Kind program,
Yeah.
our Distinguished Gentlemen, Expect programs.
Respect program.
Yes.
Because
Tell me
I
more
think-
about that program.
So I think
I'm
at
sorry.
Angels of Love, we really believe in prevention, right?
Yes.
Prevention. We
Prevent.
get a lot of, individuals who have already gone through that trauma, but we are very, very, we're very hooked on preventing it, right? And so how do we do that?
Yes.
We teach the younger generation, we teach the children, right? What is it like to have a healthy relationship? What is it like to have, good self-esteem? So when we maybe get our heart broken, what does that look like? When you love yourself, self-love and things like that, that's where we prevent, these toxic relationships from developing. You know what I mean? So if we're modeling and teaching that to our children, they know what to look for. They
Right.
know what to look for. They know what to thrive for. Hey, this is a respectful relationship. This is how I communicate, right? This is how I'm nice to others. This is how I look out for others as well. Because in the schools, we know that it's very, very difficult for just the teachers and the counselors and the principals, to, kind of point these things out, and we
Yes.
want to take part in that, in trying to help educate, because we know that education is power. So all the
Yes.
kids that go through these programs are in a way, preventing from
Preventing a damage
entering,
Mhm.
and
to
from
the
entering into
person,
that, into
Right.
that type
and
of
to a
relationship.
relationship most
Mhm.
of all, and any kind. It can be a girlfriend relationship or
Yes.
boyfriend relationship, or just even
Friendships,
friendship
yes. We see like
relationship.
bullying and stuff like that.
Right.
So, when we teach these, kids through our youth programs, we're really teaching them how to have self-respect, how to respect others,
Right.
what are the green flags, that we can have, in friendships and in relationships later on in life,
Mhm.
and maybe some of them have even been in a home where there's domestic violence, you know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yes.
for kids not to repeat that cycle, let's show them something different, let's show them something that they can change within themselves that then changes their trajectory, right? So
Yes.
when we teach them different, they learn and practice and model something different. Maybe, mom and dad are hung up, in that relationship, but what are we teaching the kids, right? We have that outside influence that will hopefully change, their view, like, hey, that's not the right way you teach that you treat a woman or a man, right? That's not a
Yes.
healthy relationship.
And you know what? I'm gonna interrupt you a little bit,
Mhm.
because sometimes us adults, when we're in a bad relationship, we think it's okay because we're used to it. It's
Right.
not that it's right, but we're used to it. We're used to the yelling, the bad word, the cussing, cussing to each other and stuff. Even though there's little words that you might think, oh, it's okay, it's just a little word, but then with the time, it grows, bigger words and
Right.
more bad words, and worse bad treatment, treat to
Exactly.
each other. So we think it's okay because we're used to it, but then that's what we're teaching our children. So that's
Right.
very good. You guys have the prevention.
Mhm.
I'm so happy. I'm in love with Angels of Love because
Aw.
program. They have so many programs. I've been there for a little while.
Mhm.
I just started with you guys, as a volunteer, but I love it. I'm so in love because I see all the help, and I'm like, they have to say it, in my
Mhm.
podcast, because I
Yay.
need everyone to know Angels of Love help in many ways.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
And I'm
importance
so
of the
happy
organization. Yeah.
because it is very important. The bullying, the how to treat themselves, how to
Yes.
respect themselves,
Mhm.
especially the children, because they're our next,
Next generation.
Next
They're our
generation,
generation,
future.
right.
Mhm.
and we need to have them, safe.
Yes.
A lot of these
Healthy.
behaviors, they're learned behaviors.
Yeah.
And, if we think about it, like, how were our parents when they were older, when they were younger, how did their parents treat them? And so you think of like a generational, I wouldn't call it a curse, but generational behavior that
Yes. The cycle.
the cycle, we want to break those cycles, and so the best way to break the cycles is by educating the kids, educating the parents, even in our empowerment classes, even showing women like, hey, this is the correct way to speak to somebody. This is what boundaries feels like. This is what you should and should. These are your red flags.
I think I have to go since I let you to the kids program, because I was taught different, and I don't blame my parents. I love them, and
Of course, yeah.
and they did the best they could,
Mhm.
and with their thoughts and their values and everything. But they're so like Mexican old,
Yes.
thoughts and
Yeah.
way of thinking
It was,
and
yeah.
living, and it's
Yeah.
different. I've learned different ways now, but it took me, kind of. There's times that I just, am I doing right? No. My dad used to say, my
Mhm.
mind tricks
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh my God. But
And
I
it's a-
take a lot of therapy. I try to help
Yeah.
myself as
It's
much
good
as I
though.
can.
Therapy's good.
And it's a huge cultural thing as well,
Yes.
being Latino, Hispanic,
Yes.
the machismo,
Yes.
the men say what goes and things like that. So we really have to, break those ideas. Yes, we were raised in a certain way and our parents did the best that they could with what they
Yes.
had. But now we're recognizing like, hey, that may have not been the best
best.
way of thinking.
Right.
Let's see how we can change that, because that like machismo and, everything that, the women take sometimes is very difficult to break through.
Right.
But
Yes.
we're here to kind of break those, cultural biases and those cultural beliefs that may be toxic and harmful to our kids now.
Mhm.
Yes. I'm with you guys, and it's very true, and it's life now,
Mhm.
because I went through all that. I went
Mhm.
through my little intern voices of my parents. Like I can hear their voices again, like if it was yesterday. And when I'm doing something, I kind of overthink it because I don't know if it's, I should listen to my dad in his voice, even though he's not here anymore, or I should just do what I think it's right, you know? And it's hard.
It's
hard sometimes, especially when it's a big decision.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have to go back with you guys.
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
okay.
start-
Come and join our kids camps. I think
Yes,
people
I
can learn a
am.
lot from listening to the kids and just understanding where kids are coming from. Because it's one thing when we heal mom, or or when we provide the services to mom, but it's another thing when we're providing services to kids, because they see and experience so much more that parents don't even recognize that their kids like saw them fight or saw them.
Yes.
You try to protect your children so much from what is going on. I know I did, and I speak about that in my, we'll get to that part.
Yes.
But
I think we all do.
we all do, because you don't want your children to experience fighting,
A bad
negativity,
experience.
Abuse in the home. You wouldn't want your children to go through that and experience that. So it's a lot of telling these kids and showing them there's a better way to communicate. These are the ways relationships work. Communication is key. We also teach social etiquette. So for our young boys who love to eat in like 2 minutes and not enjoy their food, we're going to teach them how to cut and how to use a fork and a knife and napkin placement and why we use the different forks we use, because etiquette is important.
Yes,
it
is.
I think it's something that is not taught at home sometimes. And I mean, I'm not one, I've always taught my kids proper etiquette, but because I want to be able to take them out in public and them not like shoving food in their mouths, or like my son's friends, when they would come over, I'd be like, oh my gosh, okay, stop. Like, this is a proper way to hold a fork. We put our napkin on your lap. You take your plate with you, clean it off, put it in the sink, put it in the dishwasher. So, I mean, we don't go that far, but we do teach them how to eat. So it's great. They're great
Very
programs.
nice.
And those programs can be found through this summer through your Boys and Girls Clubs in the different cities. We'll put out our calendar where we'll be. And if your kids, reside in the Boys and Girls Clubs in those cities, then you can sign them up at that time, and it would be great. So they'll have so much fun.
So
Veronica and
remember-
Vanessa do a great job of teaching the camps and teaching, all of the lessons, but making it fun as well. So they also have fun
They
learning.
have fun. We used to make it a fun way. When I used to teach, I had to jump,
Get
run,
creative. Yes.
get creative.
Dress
with
like an
them.
Indian,
Yes, clown. I would do everything because they get tired. You can only have 15 minutes and you have to change your dynamic.
Yes.
Because they get bored.
They get bored.
Especially second graders. I used to teach 4 years second graders. So
Oh
I had
my
to change
gosh.
my dynamic every 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Well,
Wow.
going into teaching, our Expect Respect program is the only one south of San Antonio. And I believe we're the only agency south of San Antonio where Safe Place out of Austin provided our certification. So we are the only agency in the Valley that offers our Expect Respect teen dating violence program. So that is amazing. And
yes, it is.
we hope to implement that into our summer programs as well. We do offer it all year round as well. So you can just contact Veronica or Vanessa at Angels of Love. And I'll give you the number again, 956-972-0685. You're going to hear me say that all night. So there should be like a banner on the screen that comes out. Call them. But
we're going to have your card. in a
good,
little bit.
great.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of great programs that Angels of Love does offer. And we're so excited to kick off our summer. So we're going to have a great time.
What how are the programs going to be? What times, or do you already know?
Yes. So they'll be on the days that each city is assigned. So each Boys and Girls Club, goes against, we look at their calendar.
Okay.
And so they usually start at 9 a.m. and they finish at 3 or 4 o'clock, depending on the class size, depending on the, how fast we need to get in, how fast we need to get out. But they can look on our website, on our Facebook page,
Angels of Love
RGV, on our Facebook page, and follow us there, and they'll be able to see what city we're in every week. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
Don't miss it out.
don't miss out.
Don't miss out, and get look up to Angels of Love RGV.
Yes.
So they can know all the information and
If they
and
follow
get
us
it.
on social media, we're just getting into TikToks and I'm getting used to the camera.
I know.
But it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh, I don't want to be, but I'm here, right? So,
Yes. You can do it.
I know we can do it. I talk for a living, but it's just one of those things where the more information that's out there, the better off our community is going to know exactly what Angels of Love does and what we offer and how we want to help our clients.
Yeah.
And so we don't want any woman to go, without, and we want to be able to provide the best services we can provide for the Valley.
Yes, you do a lot for the Valley and for everyone. I was there, and I'm a testimony of. I answered the phone, and I was like, there was a girl that called and said, this is the last diaper I have for my child, and I need to know where can I get some diapers." And then
Nice.
I give Veronica told me, what info I can give her, and I did, and I was like, I was so surprised because I didn't know you guys even,
You would be
give
surprised.
diapers.
We
I know it's clothes, shoes, books,
Hygiene items,
a lot of
Hygiene.
supplies.
yes.
And if anyone wants to donate hygiene
Yes.
items, that is huge. Body wash, shampoo, conditioner, soaps, deodorant bars, feminine products. Those are things that we give to our clients every week. If you want to donate diapers, you can donate diapers as well, wipies, because we have a lot of clients that don't have the means to get that. So we try to be as proactive as possible. Hey, what do you need? Let me see if we have it, and let me get it over to them. And more likely, we have supply.
That's very good. That's the reason I'm so in love with Love of Angels RGV, because I was like, oh my God, my heart felt like, like broken with that call. And I was like, oh my God.
It's amazing the
it's-
struggle
Yes.
that people have out there.
And you have to think about it. Like, how did women get to this point? You know what I mean? They may be
Exactly.
fleeing, a domestic violence situation. They may be in a situation where the man controls all the money. She can't ask for X, Y, and Z, right? So you really get to see how these women come in. And I know there's a lot of judgment sometimes, like, why don't you just leave? And why don't you just leave?
It's not
Sometimes,
easy.
exactly.
It's-
Sometimes, and research shows, when women try to leave, that's the most volatile and dangerous time to voice, hey, I want to leave, I want to change, I want a divorce. That's when a violence occurs most often. But that's why women don't leave. And I see a lot of victim shaming, which is very unfortunate because, people are not educated on why women don't leave. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's control of assets, there's control of money. The woman doesn't drive, she's not allowed to drive. And she's in charge of taking care of the baby. So probably, in a situation like that, she doesn't make enough money to provide, or her partner,
she doesn't even have a job.
exactly.
And she's
Because it's
thinking,
that
where am I going to
controlling.
start if
Exactly.
I don't have a degree,
Mhm.
or maybe I don't have a
Yeah,
job, I don't have a
training or anything
car,
like that. Yeah.
And that
it's-
keeps a lot of women
stay in
staying
that
in that situation.
situation. Yes.
So a lot of people ask, like, well, I mean, what do you mean, like, you have your last diaper? And like, you would be surprised how many of these women are like controlled, how many of them, have limitations from their partner, and things like that. And we see it all. We really see it all. And so it's always important not to judge and just be like, how can I help? How can I help?
Have
Yes,
compassion
for sure.
and help out.
And if you all want to donate, we're there. You can go by Angels of Love, contact Daniela. We know, and because we also have like a resource room, where they can pick up those hygiene items or, baby items if it is a mom lacking and things like that. So we're able to help in that way, especially if they're coming from this type of situation.
Yes, I know it's very hard. I think we women that have been in domestic violence, we all suffer different situations at a certain time. But the point is know how to start over and how to heal, how to prevent for the next future life you're gonna have and start. But I believe that every woman that has been in domestic violence suffer something, in different ways.
And there is a future, there is a future because, both of us are survivors, Daniela and I, and we both are authors in the book.
Yes.
And
I want you to tell me about
so
the
we're
book
both
and
survivors.
why did Angels of Love publish a book? I know you guys are the authors. Tell me about it.
Here's our
we all want to
book.
know.
So,
I'm like, Leanna.
so it is a compilation of 12 stories of local women from the RGV. Some of them have, names changed for, safety and things like that.
Okay.
But it
These
is
are the
Phoenix
women.
warriors rising from the ashes of domestic violence. So 12 women, including Daniela and I, share our personal stories of surviving domestic violence. And it's really a way, for me, it was healing. It really was
Mhm.
healing, getting it out there. But it gave me like a renewed passion, right? A renewed passion. Like, what am I going to do? God brought me this far. And there is after, right? There
Right.
is,
Yes, there's always an
hope.
after.
There is hope for an after, and I thank God for giving me, the opportunity to survive. I was in a abusive marriage and I had a son, and my son was 2. And I said, no, I can't live like this. And I cannot teach or allow my son to be taught that, they think that that's okay.
Mhm.
So I think the book is really great. And, it is from 12 local women who are survivors. And there's a portion in the back, if you buy the book either on Amazon or through our office, Barnes and Noble, right?
Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah. So they have it,
Nice.
if you buy the book, there's also like some journaling questions in the back. So
Yes.
maybe, women are kind of stuck in this situation. They don't know how to leave, they may not have that strength yet. There's questions that are asked, in the back. Do you think that you've been through this? What could you do differently? So I think it also prepares women, if they are not ready to leave, to maybe give them that hope and that like push forward,
Mhm.
Yes.
So it's an awesome read, I think.
Because we were talking about earlier before we were on live, that sometimes when you're in the domestic violence, we get used to that bad treatment. And it's not
Right.
that we get used to, like, we want it and we want to live that. Is like we were talking right now, there's situations that just hold us back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we don't know how to get out.
Mhm.
And then you kind of get like that struggle of, where do I start?
Where do I start?
Right.
Yeah.
What am I, if you don't have your own car, if you don't have a
Yes.
job, if you have to start like from zero,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and then you have a baby, who's going to take care of your baby, and there's many things you think of,
Mhm.
and it comes to push you back.
Yeah.
You can't just start.
Yeah.
I was once there, and it was hard, and I had my job, I had my car, and it was still hard.
Right.
And I think culture goes back to that as well, because I
Yes,
think
it
back,
does.
I was raised in a very Christian home, and I think thinking, you have to honor your vows, you have to
Mhm.
stick around, you have to, be forever, with this person. And, it's just forgive, forgive, forgive. Yes. And that is a cultural belief. But spiritually, God did not make us to be beat down. That's my
Right.
belief. So when I
Yes.
encountered that, and I hadn't left for many, many years, it's when I had my son, and I said, I cannot allow my son to see this. And you had to break free. You know what I mean? You have to break free. And to me, that was also inspiration, because God sustained me through everything. And he sustained me from, threats and things, even when I did left and when I was separated. And he helped me in single motherhood. He helped me in that in-between time where
And
I
he
was raising.
provides.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Always. He really does.
You didn't imagine some things that happened to me.
Yeah.
I remember I had this girl that helped me out so much. I'm going to be so grateful all my life with her, because she never left me.
Mhm.
She used to help me in Mexico, so she came with me, and she would help me with my son. He was little, so I could go work, and then
Mhm. Provide.
and there was one time I was counting my cents to buy his medication.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going through this. And I was so like, I would hold back so much. Like, I don't know how to ask.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't want to wear my parents, so I had to like just struggle myself, and there was moments that I would pray on God, and out of nowhere, I would just go through all my pockets and jackets, and I would find $20. Oh my God, I made
Amen.
it, or
Oh.
$100 or whatever. I didn't even know I had them there.
Yeah.
And many things like that, that's I've learned so young. I've always believed in God since I was
Right.
little, but I was so young when I had my son, so I was 21. So I remember, like, money would just appear there, like out of nothing, out of
Amen.
nowhere.
That's
I didn't
God.
even know I had left money out there, Like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop crying
Mhm.
and thanking God those moments, and people think like, oh no, because we can smile, we dress, we shower, we get ready, and we walk and, walk straight, but that sometimes they don't even know what we have on our back, and it's hard.
I
Life is hard.
totally relate to that. I was a businesswoman for 13 years. I had my own business. I'm come out of insurance for 20 years. And, when you're the person in the family that everyone looks up to, and everyone, like, you're planning every party, and your kids are in every event, and you have to be there, and you have to donate, and you have to be that mom. And, and then you're going through divorce and people don't know. And you don't tell people because the shame that goes through it, everything that you go through with, everything I went through with my ex-husband was just, I would just smile through it because I didn't, my kids would tell me, like, why don't you deal with it? And I said, I can't. Like, I just have to keep moving on because I don't have a choice. I think I'd go drop off my kids at school, and then I would come home to get dressed to go to the office, and I would just cry in the shower. Like, you cry when your kids aren't around. You learn to deal with things. And, in my chapter, I had a gun pointed at me on the expressway. And
I heard that story. Oh my God.
my ex-husband had people following me all the time. And I didn't learn this out. And you talk about how good God is. God is so good. And he has never left me nor forsaken me. And I truly believe in that, because in every single instant of my life that I look back, God has been there to redeem me, to take care of me, to guide me, to comfort me. And, that's a major part of my testimony, because without God, I don't know where I would be. I don't even think I would be working at Angels of Love. All of it comes, full circle for me, because it's not what I would have thought about. I would have never thought about I was abused. I would have never, and I wasn't physically abused. And people get that confused, like, oh, well, domestic violence, everyone thinks of, oh, well, it's just physical abuse. No, it's not. It's financial, it's mental, it's emotional. It's being dragged through hell, and it's hell. It's not easy. And when people say, well, how come you never said anything? Well, how could I?
Who was going to believe me?
Who was going to believe me? Like, I almost had to have verifiable reports, like, here are my receipts kind of thing. And thank God I kept them. But, it's hard. My parents didn't know a lot of things that happened because I didn't want to worry them. And I didn't want to move in with them either, because I figured, they're going to be like, oh, no, you need protection. Like, and I did. I bought protection. I bought a gun because I said, what if something happens? What if he comes into my house in the middle of the night? Like, what if he, all the what ifs and the could haves, and I should have been dead twice ago. It's in the book. You have to read it. I'm not telling you the rest.
You have to buy it.
You have to buy it, so you'll find out. But I'm chapter 1, just FYI. But those are so many things that we go through, and no one would have ever known.
I went through a lot too, and talking about the book, I'm writing mine. And it's gonna take a while, because you know what happens, and we were talking about it, and you offered me the therapy that I need, and yes, I'm gonna accept it, because when you're writing the book and you're going with your, like, back to the past, you get those flashbacks, and you start feeling even the emotion at that moment, and I can cry for hours. I was like, when there's a week that I'm all strong enough, I can write.
Right.
But if there's weeks that I don't want to, like, I don't want to cry, I don't want to remember my past, I don't even want to think about it, I'm okay, so I don't write. So it's, it's kind of emotional thing going on, back and forth. So I'm taking it slow.
Well, your past doesn't define you.
Oh, no.
Like, and our pain shouldn't define us.
No.
I think it's how we've gone through everything and how we've overcome these obstacles, and knowing that God was with us, recognizing it.
Yes.
And as I wrote it, like, I went back and I relived it, but then it was like, oh, but God saw me through that. Like, God provided me with that. Like, I got to take care of this because God put this in my way, like, it's just so amazing how God is and how he works. And sometimes we'll never understand it, but we believe and we know that, God is out there looking after us, and we are his children. And, I went through that when I was going through my book and answering the questions and stuff like that. and I relived, a couple of really hard moments about it. But then as I go home and I would reflect, I'm like, God, you're so good. And I would praise, put on my praise and worship music all the way home and just be like, God, you were so good to me. Like, you kept me alive when like I would have been dead. You provided when I didn't have, like, and no one knew, and I was able to just get up and do it and just put a smile on my face and act like everything's okay, because that's just the way it was,
That's the way it
even when
was.
you weren't okay. It's okay not to be okay.
We
Just don't
learned to
stay there.
smile,
Right.
and not cry.
You
Cry
hide
in the
your pain.
shower, cry when the kids were not there, at school or something, or
You hide your pain.
you hide your pain. There's times I remember that I was at work, and there was times that I was so hurt that I just had to go to the restroom and cry because it was so painful that I couldn't like be there, and just act like nothing had happened.
Right. Right. Oh, I get you, sister. Don't worry.
And it's masking, we mask all those things because we have so many roles as women, as moms. We still have to report to work and do all of that. You know what I mean? So we
Life
mask
continues.
that. But, the trauma, you were mentioning, like, sometimes you block it out, you have to stop. And, that's okay. Like the trauma, the processing, it doesn't come in one day because it didn't happen just one day. It happened repeatedly over years.
Many times, yes.
Many times. So it's okay, and we always advocate for, therapy services and counseling. That's what gets us through. You know what I mean? That's really what gets us through, and processing and healing that, and knowing that we did not deserve any of that. We didn't deserve any of that.
Right.
And we come through it. We come through it, and we heal then to tell our story to help somebody else. I think that's also important. And you can really relate to women. Like, I've been there, and there is life after. And I think that hope is really what, even when I came to Angels of Love, one of our board members, Cindy Mendez Cavazos, she was sharing her testimony, like at a women's gala. And I said, I need to be a part of whatever she's a part of. So through her bravery and telling her story, just a little bit of her story, and she's also in the book, she's another one of our board members. I came on and I was like, I was on the advisory board, I was volunteering, and I said, I want whatever she's a part of because I have a story as well. I wasn't completely healed. I wasn't, ready to talk about it, but I wanted a part of whatever she was a part of because it was very, very powerful. And you walk into the office at Angels of Love and you're like inspired. Like, I love when I go to the office. It's
so much love.
Beautiful, it's such a beautiful feeling, but it's like being around these amazing women, you know what I mean? It's really like powerful. It's very inspirational. I love them so much. And it's like, it's really, truly an honor to be a part of them.
Me too. I feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that. And I work
in every event. Veronica sends me a message. We have this event. Can you come? I'm like, yes, I'm in.
I love it.
I love it because, you get so many different experiences and you learn so much every time. Every event is different. So I love to be there and I love to be part of it. And, as a volunteer, to help out, I can do anything. And I'm like, I don't know. It's something, maybe it's like a heal to my heart.
Yes. As you serve, you heal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you guys feel
as you
like
serve, you heal.
When you serve, like you feel like a heal.
Yes.
And when you're like doing something for someone else, it's kind of part of my heal.
It is. That is so true. Leanna and I were so honored to put our first divorce care class together. And Leanna was on board with me, and Cheryl Ann, through the chaplains and through our church, we were able to have a group at Angels of Love to offer divorce care. And what a healing, even for me that I've been divorced for 11 years, it's still healing. And it's still like, helping these women and just watching their progress of like when they started week 1 to week 13. And you're just like, wow, God did that, and when we talk about forgiveness and we talk about, moving on, I remember I shared with the girls, like, guys, you're going to have to forgive this person who hurt you. You know
what? I think I did forgive this person, but when I started writing the book, those flashbacks, those emotions I had, I just think that I don't know if I did it like deeply in my heart. It got kind of confusing. I just feel like that. But I don't have hate. I don't have that resentment with him.
Right.
I can talk to that person, and it's okay. I don't have nothing against, or I don't desire nothing bad to him. I don't have that
Right.
heart.
No. Yeah.
But when I started writing my book, that's when I noticed that, oh my God, maybe I'm not healed all the way,
I think healing takes time. Forgiveness is not like a one-time thing and okay,
It's a
forget, I
process.
forgot.
Mhm.
It's a process. And especially when you're rewriting your book, because you're like, oh, but I think when you finally just give it to God and leave it at his feet, and you're like, God, you're in control, I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is not about the other person, it's about you. And it's about your personal healing. So it's entirely up to when you feel like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to carry this burden. I'm going to leave it at the feet of God, and I'm going to let God deal with it, because why would you want to carry that?
Oh no, that's the reason.
Right.
But then that's what confuses me, because I don't know if I healed deeply inside, or I just put like a barrier, like something to.
I think forgiveness in these situations is kind of messy. It's kind of messy.
hard.
We can't keep it like in a box. And sometimes we're going to have to lay it down over and over again. We're going to have to remind ourselves, but you forgave that person, right? We forgive that
Yes.
person because we're still human.
Yeah.
We're still human, and we still have emotions and memories and things like that. But I think it's a reminder. I don't think it's that you haven't forgiven. It's just you're human and you're remembering.
And you remember your
Yes,
heart
and be
has
like,
emotions.
exactly.
Still, and
Right.
Exactly.
And you'll
just to
work through
feel.
them.
Yeah,
You should go through the empowerment classes.
I am.
Maybe a divorce care class would help you
I'm
too.
gonna take all of them, because I think I do need them.
We have them starting in the fall. We'll let you know for sure.
Yes. So we already know where you can purchase the book.
Yes.
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and
At the office.
At the
Tel Aviv
office.
and at the office, yes.
Love of Angels office. What's the address to Love of Angels? Do you know?
Angels of Love's address is 1305 East Olana Avenue, Suite D. We're located right behind Freedom Bank, between Jackson and McCall. So if you picture the two streets going north and south, we're in Olana going east and west, right behind Freedom Bank, Suite D. Yes.
Okay. So, and then for the last, I know it's something
boy.
that we need to get ready and comfortable,
let's get
because
ready.
this is
where all
very
the
good
comments
one.
come.
We're gonna talk about the 10 signs you are in abusive, toxic relationship.
Oh, where do we
Oh my
start?
God.
Okay, online, get ready, because we want your feedback on this.
Okay.
So 10 signs you're in a toxic relationship.
He isolates you from
Ooh.
family and friends.
That's what I see a lot.
Yes.
I see that a lot, and I was there once or maybe twice. They start like pulling you, trying to confuse you with all the puppy love and all the love they feel, making you feel that they love you, and they start, oh, your friend,
No, I don't like them.
fulana tal, or whatever her name is, has this issue. I don't think you should hang with her. And
Right.
then, and I start seeing, now that I'm okay and that kind of healed, maybe not all the way, but I'm kind of healed.
You're there. You're
I'm
almost
there. And I can see a little bit. I see when they start kind of like getting that
Control.
person in control,
Yeah.
and taking away the friends and pushing them back, and trying to take her to many places and get all her time and
Yes.
all her attention, and they only want to be them.
And even from family, like we see it a lot from like isolating her from her mom, her sisters, her cousins and stuff
Creating
like that. The tias.
unnecessary drama.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
tias and stuff like that. People who maybe have your back and who are vocal, they don't like to be exposed. So they're going to try to hold you from seeing your family, right? This family barbecue, no, we can't go. I don't feel like going. Stay with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can create that barrier, and they kind of create that isolation because they love bomb you, right? That first they love bomb you. They give you all these things and, for a long time. And then over time, they start to isolate you from friends, from neighbors, from family. Yeah, for sure.
And it's so crazy because they even pretend be sick.
Absolutely.
So you won't leave them alone, and you don't go to that
like,
party
I need
or
you.
to that
Yes,
event,
I need you. You need to
even
be
if
here.
it's a work event.
Yes.
Yep. Well, number 2 would be like he accuses you of cheating on him and talking to other men. So like there's no trust between you two. Or he's like, I know you're talking to him, and I would get this all the time. Like, I know you're talking to him. I know you're sleeping with him. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, you really think I have time? I have a business. I have 3 kids. Like, I have my parents. I'm taking care of, like,
home.
I have a home,
care of.
and the kids have lives. Like, you really think I have time for this? So
Usually it's a reflection that they're
doing
do.
it. And he did it 7 times, by the way. So yes, I'm getting the in the background. Yes, because he's gonna always accuse you of what he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I've
Yes.
learned.
Yes.
They always accuse you of what they're doing.
Yes.
And that's your answer right there. So just take it,
learn it,
learn it,
girls.
and get away.
Yes.
Run away.
Run. He tracks your location or makes you stay on the phone with him. So he basically stalks you.
Oh my God. Guys, that's so
this
bad.
personally happened to me, and it's in the book, but I'm not going to tell you too much about it. My ex-husband put GPS trackers on my vehicle. We were already divorced, so there was no need to follow me during the day because, I'm at my office like 98% of the time.
Yes.
That's when I had my own business. And, he would call me and, where are you at? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm at the office. What do you want? Like, is everything okay? And, oh, okay. And then he'd call me and be like, where are you at? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm still here at the office. I'm still working, like where I was an hour ago. And so, he always knew where I was going. And that was the crazy part. So in my book, I had cameras in my AC vents at home.
Oh my God.
My security team
that's
found
so
it.
Bad.
I know it, guys. You have
How
to.
did
You
you
have to buy the book.
You'll get the full scoop.
You'll get the full
I need
scoop.
one.
You'll get the full
How
scoop.
did you get to know where were they?
So,
That's so crazy.
one afternoon, my security team called and said, "Hey, by the way, we can't. What is it when they monitor your home?
Yes.
We can't monitor your house." And I said, "Okay." Well, he says, "We're outside." I'm like, "What do you mean you're outside my house?" So I rushed to the house, and my office was only like 4 minutes away from my house.
Okay.
And so I get there, and I said, "Wait, before we walk in, I want you to go into my attic." I said, because for some reason he knows every person that I'm talking to. Like, it was crazy. He could verbatim give me word by word of conversations I had like the night before or like that morning or who I was with or who I was talking to.
So crazy
house.
Oh my God.
So he goes into the attic and I'm like, you need to go right above my room. And so he calls me and I'm outside. I'm not even inside the house. And he says, there's a camera. And I'm like, pull it out, take a picture and pull it. He pulls it out of my AC tubing. He pulls it out, brings it down, and he says, here you go. Here's your camera. And I'm like, oh, in my AC vent? Like, who does this? Crazy people do.
Definitely a red flag.
Major red flag.
Yes.
Yes. Besides the tracking and I had cameras in my bedroom I didn't even know about. Like it was daunting and crazy. So, when you find out that your ex-husband is tracking you, then you need to call 911, make a police report, do all of those things because we tend, I had some people tell me like, hey, you need to go get your car looked at. And I'm like, why? You have a tracker on your car. Go get your car looked at. And so I'd go to my cousin's shop and I'd say, pick up my car. And sure enough, I'd pull it down and I'm like, okay, I have to do another police report because he had several tracking devices that he not only put on one car, he put on another vehicle too that I owned. And this was all after I was divorced. So it's not like we were married, like, we weren't married at all. We were divorced. And so,
how could he do that? I think
it's very easy to do it.
But in your AC, like, how would he do? Like,
he broke into the house several times without me knowing.
Oh my God,
right.
That's
so that's why I had to hire a whole like security team to come and like redo everything, like
search for everything,
microphone and microphone. We pulled a microphone. They pulled cameras. Like we pulled at least 3 sets of cameras from the house that were all three were in my bedroom. And I'm not anybody crazy. Surprised. I mean, come on, guys, right? But I know I'll be nice. But
be
like
nice to you.
but I'm not. I don't do bad things. Like I'm normal, and I have my kids in my room, and you walk out, and it's the AC vent above, like where you walk out to like your shower. You walk out of your shower, and like you're putting on your clothes, and he can watch all of that, and he can hear all of that
after you all were divorced.
After we were divorced. So buy the book, guys. There's more details. You Phoenix Warriors rising from the ashes, definitely rose from these ashes. But you know, that's a major red flag. And so it's not like I got to see it during my marriage, because yes, there was some crazy during my marriage, but a lot of it came after, and that's where the crazy began. So the next one was he keeps track of your finances. So he makes you ask him for money, or you have to bring receipts for every purchase, and you don't have access to your own bank accounts. And so this is very important for women who...
To his bank accounts or yours?
Oh, no, this isn't even about me. This is about other people.
No,
I had my own bank accounts.
Yeah, but
like when he only has access
to
bank accounts,
to their joint
or he
account.
has access
Right.
to yours,
Okay. Right.
Or he doesn't even let you have a solo account. You know, everybody's different about finances, but I think it's that control that you look for. And when they control finances, sometimes they're like, "Oh, babe, you don't have to work," so then you don't have an income, so he controls everything, right?
Controls everything.
Exactly. You don't have to work. I'll provide for you. But then he's like, "Oh, this is my money. I control it." So you're no longer a partnership. Exactly.
You don't take nothing.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, you leave with nothing.
There's a lot of people that take care of the like that, you know, and I don't see it well. I think, you know, once you get married, it's like a mutual,
yeah, for sure.
Everything, like not just love, not just I'm here for you,
right?
And you know, it's everything's mutual. So I think it should be like that. I know men are kind of scared nowadays also, because there's a lot of women that want to take the money and leave and whatever.
And
but
it's
I
out
think
there.
They need to know.
Yeah.
They need to know who they marry, and they need to know, really need to know the person. And you know, but once you're married, come on, we're a couple. You need to, like,
especially when you've been married for years, like,
yes, do things together,
right? You should know, like, how to pay your light bill. You should know how to write a check. You know, I've met so many people who are getting out of 18-year divorces, you know, marriages, and they're now divorced, and they're like, well, we don't even know who our light company is. I'm like, how do you not know this? You know, we don't even know how to write a check. Like, what bank account? What are you talking about? You know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, so we as women have to empower ourselves and find out, because the last thing you want to do is be holding an empty bag when you've been putting time and effort into your marriage. You're taking care of children if you stay at home, and that counts for something. You know, you're not just by yourself. And, you know, even though sometimes as moms, we feel like we're in a marriage by ourselves, and we have a spouse, you know, that takes time. There's a lot of effort. There's cooking, there's cleaning, there's taking care of the kids. Endless work. Like that. I don't think housework is ever done unless you have a housekeeper, right? But other than that, like, it's never done.
Yes.
So
turning something small into a big fight. So sometimes something very minute, you know, like washing the dishes, or like picking this up or doing this a certain way, you know, blowing it up into like a huge thing, and then like gaslighting you, right? Like just making things up, making things bigger than they are.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's when it's a relationship, boyfriend girlfriend relationship, outside, not living together, I think similar to what you're saying right now about, you know, the gaslighting. One of them is more important, is when they try to, like you were saying, they try to, like, pull you back.
And it's also like, I didn't say that. You made that up. That's what's your in head. That's what's in your head. You're making it up. So that's gaslighting, right? Like retracting what, you know, they actually said, or like, I didn't say it like that. I didn't mean it like that. So it's like, but I'm not crazy. You know, I know what you said and how you said it. It's like, but they're like, no, that's all in your head. You're the one. You're the
like
problem.
A crazy one.
Yes, exactly.
They treat you like you're the crazy one. You're the dramatic. You're the toxic.
And I remember, like, in my marriage with my ex-husband, it was like walking on eggshells all the time. I knew what he was capable of. He always used his anger as like fear and things like that, because there was many times that he did put hands on me. But then even after that, he would break things. So I'm like, when am I next? When am I next again? Right? Like, when is he going to break me? I mean, you're talking about like work computers, TVs, holes in the walls, like
Wow.
dishes.
I would be hiding the china. I would be like hiding the good stuff.
I didn't
like,
have anything of
"Don't
value,
break
thank
this,"
God.
in the
But
kids'
yeah.
closets or something.
But that's also like turning something, very small into something
Something
big.
big,
And like,
right.
that physical and violence. And it was like he was like a threatening thing, all the time. We would miscommunicate or whatever. And it was like rage like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I would want to go for a walk to get away from the situation. No, you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. I'm like, let me leave the apartment. Like, let me leave.
Mhm.
You can cool off. I can cool off, kind of. No, you're not going to leave. And he would stand in the doorway so I couldn't leave. So here I am trapped with this like angry, rageful person. And I don't know what he's going to break over my head next.
And then you get so paranoid and scared,
Exactly.
and
And then you shut down. I stopped talking. I stopped responding. I was very, very depressed. I went through horrible depression episodes through my 10-year marriage.
Mhm.
It was very difficult because it was always walking on eggshells because he would make a huge thing. He would become violent and angry over something so
Wow.
small.
I think that even though when they're a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, there's a lot of people and more men nowadays. I've heard a lot of stories that they get mad out of any little thing.
Anything,
Like
yeah.
they show up at the house and
Yes.
she's not there or whatever thing,
Mhm.
and they make a big drama about to
Mhm.
end the relationship.
Exactly.
And then different stuff like that, and I was like, oh my God, I don't have time for that. Like I wouldn't be
It's
able to be with someone that makes
exhausting.
a drama out of nothing.
It was
Right.
exhausting.
Because I changed, and I don't take, little stuff like that. To
Mm-mm.
me, it's red flag, and I just, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't.
good.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm okay alone. I don't
Yeah,
need
I
no
know,
one to be
right?
telling me what to do, how
Mhm.
to behave, or if something's wrong or right. I
Mhm.
do what I think it's right, and I
Right.
don't damage nobody. I
Yeah.
don't
Right.
I don't go through life doing bad to nobody. So
Mhm. Exactly.
I think that's better than having someone in your life
Mhm.
trying to tell you what to do, how to
Exactly.
behave, what to eat, how to dress.
Well,
I
that's
can't
actually
take it.
number
Yeah.
that's actually
9.
number 9.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we're going to get to
Number 7.
number 6 actually.
yeah.
Okay.
Makes you bow down to ask for permission. Now, I know you guys think this is crazy, but not going to give you the client's name. There was a client who had to bow down to her husband and I mean bow down and put her head down
Yeah.
and
like when
ask
you
for
do
permission,
this.
servant style,
Oh my
and
God.
ask for permission. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And no, and he would put her in the corner. Like
Oh my
he
God.
would
Like if
be
she's a little
Mm.
girl when back days, you
Yes.
would, get grounded and
yes,
Put it in the corner.
put her in the corner.
crazy,
And
dominant, crazy, macho Mexican, just crazy.
wow.
And
I
that's
didn't know.
not the way we should be treated. That's not even the
No.
way we should be allowed to
We're
be
not
treated.
even, not even
Mhm.
to like
Right.
no one.
Yeah.
I
We're
know.
adults. We're women. We have our own lives and we have our own rights
Yes.
and things, and we shouldn't be asking for permission. You can consult with your husband or your partner and just be like, hey, what do you think about this?
Communication. Yes,
Absolutely.
communicate.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Communicate. Hey, what do you think about this? Let's discuss it together. You're not asking for permission. You're coming to a mutual agreement together. But
Yes.
asking permission is, yes, way back when, very
I
machista,
cannot even
very.
make an agreement with no one. I'm so bad.
Oy, we don't want to be
I
single
wouldn't
forever.
be able to make an agreement like, I have to do what I have to do. I can't
Right.
be asking permission or you like it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Me,
Can I go?
it's
Can I go to
like,
HEB?
I have to
Like,
do this,
Yeah.
If this is a way I
Like,
have
I'm going
to
to
do it, I
advise
have to
you.
do it.
I'm advising you what
I'm
I'm
just
doing.
letting you know.
Just FYI.
This is gonna happen. If
Right.
you see it somewhere, it's okay.
Right.
You
I get you. So number 8 was tries to kill you. And
Oh my God.
there are many women who have been through situations where, it's a drag through a window type situation. We've heard that. He beats the legs, like he beats them. Mine was somebody actually tried to kill me twice. So it's one of those things where definitely that's a red flag and you should be like running at that point.
That's so
But
sad.
it's very sad, but you know what? God is so good because I'm here.
Yes.
And, we just pray that any woman that is going through that finds help and calls Angels of Love because we can
For
help
sure.
get you out of that situation.
Yeah.
Tells you what to wear. I know that was something that you mentioned.
Yes.
gosh, guys, give us a break. Like, let us wear what fits us, okay? And
right?
you know what looks good on us and how confident we feel. But if you're telling us what to wear and whether to put on makeup or not put on makeup, or do your hair this way or do your hair that way, or don't wear those shoes,
I do
like,
whatever I want now.
that's why we got married and moved out of
Because-
our parents' house.
Yes.
Like, come on.
I had 7 brothers. My dad was an awesome man. I love my dad so much, even though he's in heaven now. But my brothers were so strict.
So you got that growing up.
Yes. I couldn't wear short shorts, like not even half of my leg ever, because that was not right or proper. So I don't know how to use short shorts. I can't. I've never done it on the beach, maybe sometimes on top of my bathing suit.
Cover,
like,
yeah.
to cover. I don't know how to be like with friends. Me in bathing suit, I can't do it. I have to have a dress on or something on to cover,
A cover
myself.
up, yeah.
There's those little traumas they leave you, like family, we
Or
were
they
talking about
insult
issues.
you, or they say like, oh, you're too fat, or oh, you're too ugly, oh, that doesn't fit you right, or look, your nalga's hanging out, or your boobs are too big, or like there's always something, right? And you shouldn't wear those kinds of clothes. Just FYI, like I wouldn't wear those kinds of clothes, but if that's what you want to wear, you should be able to do you and wear what you want to wear,
like,
right?
They're probably thinking I'm crazy because I'm wearing jeans, tennis shoes.
You look very sophisticated,
and
so
I
you
don't
look very
even
cute.
care,
I love it.
Yeah,
it's comfortable. That's what I'm gonna wear.
Or sometimes, like, they want them completely covered up because they make up things in like, oh, men are gonna look after you. Men are gonna look at you. You're gonna leave with a man that gives you a compliment. So cover yourself. Wear this or wear that, or don't wear any makeup. Like you don't want the woman to look attractive to anybody because then she's gonna leave you. That's controlling. That's controlling. That's
my
not
life back then when I got divorced.
And you're so beautiful.
Thank you so much. You love me. That's why.
Well, no, but I always thought
You're
she was very
super
beautiful. I'm like,
beautiful.
she's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
You would have never thought someone like you went through something like that.
Oh, you don't even know.
Well, look at you. You broke free.
Yes.
You broke free and you look great.
And one of my brothers, when I first got divorced, he wouldn't let me go get tacos like 5 minutes away my parents' house, because he would think that if a divorced girl would go and buy tacos or kind of like a
going around the block,
right, men would think that she's trying to get men. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you're thinking that.
You're like, I'm just hungry.
From where do you get those ideas?
Like, yeah.
You're like, yes, people here think wrong. And if you're out the street, they're going to think, I'll get your tacos for you. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that was their thought, So Mexican,
men.
Yes.
Machos, Mexicanos.
Macho Mexicans. Come on, guys.
With that, that culture way back.
Yes. And we can do better as a society. So, this is why it's important to talk about things like this, because, women need to know, women need to stand up for themselves, but also men need to be more understanding. It's like, come on, guys,
break the cycle.
We don't all have to live in that mentality or that world of like, I control you, you're mine. If I can't have you, no one else can have you. Like, that is absolutely insane. So, break the cycles. Luana, did you want to say anything?
I think it just goes back to it's okay for a woman to dress and feel good about herself. I think that we're not taught that enough. A lot of, our upbringing is like, you need to look good for the man. You need to look good for your man. But women can look beautiful and make themselves feel good for themselves. I mean, it's called self-esteem for a reason. You know what I mean? And I think that we come from that mentality that we have to look good for somebody else, but we really just want to feel good about ourselves. And that's completely permissible and okay.
You know what? I think men have that issue, like, of thinking that we all want to do it for a man.
For a man.
And it's not like that. We women, we dress up for us.
For ourselves,
And sometimes because there's a dress code in a party and we all want to look good and we all want to look the same colors.
Yes. Or like a theme. I love a themed party.
They're doing dress code on each party. And it's good because, sometimes it kind of frustrates me, but then sometimes, I mean, it's okay because, it's like they're doing a different movement,
right,
parties,
Well, it's the party, it's the vibe, it's what's
it's
in,
vibe.
And it's okay to do
word.
that, as women, breaking away from that type of mindset that you're just dressing up for the men that are going to be like, no, I want to feel good and I do feel good about myself, and that's okay. That's about that empowerment. You're not dressing for anybody else. You're dressing to feel good about yourself. Like,
and I think men should encourage their women to to feel good and like
Mhm.
love themselves and take care of themselves, because
Yes.
when you make that person feel loved and when you make that person feel empowered, you
Mhm.
know, it's not to like, oh, she's going to go, you know, be with somebody else.
Mhm.
It's for her, you know,
Yes.
it's for her well-being, her mental, like, I feel good. I'm standing next to an amazing man. I love my husband.
Mhm.
And I think that's so encouraging. If men would just change their mindset to know like not all women think this way. And
Yes.
just like what we're talking about, you know, not all men are this way either. And women can be this way too. You know, I mean, there are signs of toxic women
Yes.
that are out there as well. So this applies to men and women.
Yes.
And it just so happens we're women talking about men, but there are women who are the same way with their
They're
husbands.
Yes.
And
tóxicas.
so
They're
Yes, there
tóxicas.
is.
and they
I've
put it on
heard.
their car. Like, guys, do not put soy la tóxica or the tóxica is my, please don't do
We don't
that.
have to be that way.
Yeah, no. Let's
Be
be
nice.
different.
Let's
Yeah,
be
be
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Be gentlemen.
So number 10 is uses children to manipulate you and getting what he wants. So wow, I could go on forever about that, but I'm gonna let Leanna talk about that.
So a lot of time, you know, like men or abusers are, I'll give you this if you give me the kids, right? Or I have somewhere to be with the kids, préstamalos, you know, and it's like that act, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm not going to give you this, you
Manipulation.
know, manipulation, literally using the children, and they use them as pawns, you know what I mean? Like I won't do this to you if you la 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 with the kids, right? Or
Yes.
I won't take this away if you this, or I'm going to do this to the kids, or I'm going to take this from the kids if you continue to dress like that. And that's super toxic, right? Like you're like, what do you
Yes.
mean? Like, so of course most women and mothers are going to choose their kids, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if he's asking for insane things. I'm always going to choose my kids, right? And so yeah, I'm going to, you know, they yell at the kids, and so then you have to stop, you know, like advocating for yourself, or you have to stop the conversation, because then he starts to yell at the kids, and that's manipulation. You don't want him to hurt the kids, so you're like, mejor me callo, right? Mejor me callo, like I'll take it, you know, or whatever. So using the kids like that is a huge red flag, and you can, you know, see that, and it just grows, you know what I mean? It just grows, and then it affects the children, and it affects, you know, their self-esteem and having to pick between mom and dad and things like that. But also it's a way for them to repeat those cycles. Like the kids that are,
they don't see the damage they're doing to
yeah,
the kids.
exactly.
Oh, no.
And then
It's
repeating
a
those
lot,
cycles,
and it's
because
so
then
good.
those you know, those little boys or little girls accept that for their life, or those boys continue that behavior with their significant others when they grow older. So it's literally just repeating the cycle when you know, the abuser is manipulating with using the children. So but yeah.
Another
hard.
way they use to manipulate kids is they pin you as the bad mom. You're like, oh no, your mom won't let me take you here. And I made a reference in my book, well, in my chapter about Disney dad, because I would call my ex-husband the Disney dad. He's like, okay, guys, everybody get dressed. We're gonna go here. And I'm like, no, it's a school night. The kids need to take a shower. And like, we just got home and it's 8:00 and you want to take them, you know, XYZ. And I'm like, no. There's no trips to Target. Like, they got to go to bed.
There's
they
a
have homework to
routine.
finish. There's a routine. And he'd be like, you see, your mom doesn't want to let you go. And then the fights just start. You know, it's like, why do you have to tell the kids this? Or, you know, I'm going to take the kids here. And, you know, there's always some kind of fight, and they use the children to control and get what they want. So manipulation and using children is never a good thing, guys. We can do better.
No, we
so
can do better.
Communicate.
And this is even goes to girls.
Yes.
Because sometimes if I don't lend you the kids, if you don't give me money, or I don't lend you the kids if I don't get this part, or if you didn't, you know, the house, or, you know, anything.
And that's why women stay. Is like, you know what? If I don't stay, I don't get to drive the car. If I don't stay, then I'm not going to get to see my kids. And they use that all the time. Like, I hear it. If you come around more often, you know, you're going to hear that a lot of times, that women don't leave because they don't have the confidence in themselves to take that step forward. They don't have the confidence in themselves to start over. And starting over is hard, but
it's a relief.
You will feel so much better.
I felt
like, yeah,
yes, it's a relief. It's like,
it is.
Oh, I'm alive.
After you
to be able to breathe.
I'm alive. I'm okay. I love my space now, you know.
Yes.
Right.
I can breathe.
Yes.
Without the pressure.
Yes.
Or without that screaming, or without whatever you're going through.
Yeah, for sure.
It's way different.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy to have you guys here.
Thank
It's an awesome space, and I love all the advices, and and this is a very good talk, and I think it's gonna be good for everyone who's listening to us and watching us, because we all need to heal, we all need to survive, we all need to give the step.
Yeah, move
Right.
forward. Move forward.
Yes,
Heal.
exactly.
For sure. There's hope.
Is anybody online saying anything?
We have any questions? Saludos igualmente para todos.
Yes. And if you or someone you know needs help and needs to get out of a domestic violence relationship, feel free to give our office a call at 956-972-0685. We're here to help you move forward to a happy and healthy life.
For sure.
And if
Yes.
not, look, Angels of Love RGV.
RGV on Facebook.
On Facebook.
If you want to know more about our upcoming events, Angels of Love Facebook is going to be where you want to go. Find us on TikTok as well. Look at our
Instagram.
videos. We have Instagram. I even believe we have X, but feel free to follow us.
Yes.
Get to know who we are. Come and volunteer. If you're a business owner and you would like to give to Angels of Love, call me. I'm the development director. I'd be happy to sit down with you and talk about how your money can help facilitate new programs and continue just to move Angels of Love on into our next chapter. Again, you can call me at 956-217-9764. I'll repeat that, 956-217-9764 for any donations. Our Angel House will be coming up very soon as well. So we'll need donations for that. Our youth camps are coming up. We're looking for donations. We have a great event coming up and a big reveal. So we'll reveal that on Friday, but you can only find it on Facebook and TikTok on Friday. So look at Angels of Love RGV for a big reveal for our kids camps and our end of the year summer program. So we do have our Miss Angels of Love pageant going on. So if you or someone you love, or you have a beautiful daughter starting from 6 and up, we have all different age levels. Feel free to go by our Facebook and look up our Angels of Love, Miss Angel of Love page on Facebook, and see how you can sign your daughter, your niece, your granddaughter, whoever you like. Or if you would like to sign up yourself, you'd be great, by the way.
You would.
My God.
You'd
You'd
be
so
amazing.
Everybody wants me
good.
tomorrow, and I don't want to
You
do it
should.
anymore.
You know what? It's a major confidence booster
It is.
for you. And I think through that, using the Angels of Love platform, when you go out and you do a lot of public events, and how Angels
Like
of
your
Love has
crown, your
touched your
badge.
life and how you're able to give back, it's a bigger platform. So it's a much more than beauty.
Yes.
It's a lot of giving back
Giving
and being
back
able
and-
to help
sure.
someone else heal.
Heal.
And yes.
I just remember heal.
You're good.
That was, that's the reason I went to Angel.
Well, you need to read our book. I'm going to give you this copy of our book.
Oh, thank you
But
so
Angels
much.
of Love produced this book. It's a Phoenix Warriors Rising from the Ashes of Domestic Violence. Get your copy today. You can buy one at our office at 1305 East Nolana Avenue, Suite D, as in David, D, as in Daniela. Just wanted to throw that out. Barnes and Nobles and Amazon as well. And it's $20 if you buy it at our office. It's a little bit more if you buy it online, but we'd be happy to sign it for you and come by and see us.
And maybe you still need.
Do we have the book in Spanish? No, we do not.
We
Not
need
yet.
to
That's a good
translate that
idea.
in Spanish.
That's a long
We need
book.
to make a copy in
Like,
Spanish.
this is a long book, but you know
Yes.
what?
Not yet.
I think we'll have the audio soon. I think we're working on the Spanish version of audio. So,
okay, nice.
while you're driving, you may be able to listen to it.
Mhm.
That'll come soon. I can't say it's out yet, but that'll come soon too.
Mhm.
We'll take that under advisement.
Yes.
For sure.
Liana, you want to say something to the public?
You
before
know,
we finish?
if you're seeking help, Angels of Love is definitely here to connect you. We're like a hub for resources as well. And, just sharing your story, you know what I mean? You don't have to do it right away, but you can do it in a safe space. And Angels of Love has been that safe space for me. I encourage you all, there is hope. There is after, I am happily remarried. And I love my husband,
She's
and
a good
he's been
husband.
amazing after all of the trauma
And drama.
Yes, he's amazing. I love you, Tristan. And my son, you know what I mean? Do it for your kids. Do it so they don't grow up in a situation where they're going to learn, that toxic behavior. But there is hope. There's always hope. So
yes, and especially there's hope not only for women, for men too, for the whole family, even for the children. They have all these events, all these
camps,
therapies, camps, programs where they can help anyone. So if you have any type of situation, contact Angels of Love
at 956-972-0685.
Or you can contact me at Ellas Son Tu Voz, or here, Jessica Solis on Facebook. And I would love to contact you with Daniela or Miss Perez, Veronica Perez, or anyone there. They're all so lovely. They all help. Yes. That's the reason I'm there.
We have a great advocate, Vanessa Gutierrez, and our executive director, Miss Veronica Perez. She's absolutely amazing. Della Fe Perez, who is our CEO and founder. She's amazing. And we all just have the heart to give back and help women. And I think the most impactful thing is when you go through something like this, it's in your heart to give back because you know where these women have been, and you can say, like, I've been in her shoes. Let me help.
Yes. That's the reason I went there.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I want to help. And
well, we're gonna sign you up Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. No,
every day.
Every day we'll put you down on the calendar.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for watching us, for listening to us. I hope this is a very good message to everyone. And please share to anyone that you think that needs this message and needs to listen to all this podcast, because it's very helpful. It's it's to heal, and it's powerful.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yes. So let's share the voice. Let's share the podcast, and see you in the next episode.
Thanks for having us.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Bye.